Welcome to the Deep in State presented by 𝐒𝐮𝐲. I'm Nick Hawks. On today's episode, we have Andrew Baek, the founder from Drop Wireless On. This episode is sponsored by 𝐒𝐿IPS Labs. If you're pushing the limits of what's possible on chain, you should build your own rollup with 𝐒𝐿IPS. We'll have a little bit more on them later in the show. Before we get started, remember to hit the like and subscribe button. This alerts you to when we have the next episode dropping and also helps us get great guests like Andrew on the show. Andrew, welcome to the show, man.
Nice to have you here as well. Yeah.
I'm super excited. So we met in Denver a couple months ago, and I was always excited to have you come on Deep in State and just talk to people about what Drop Wireless is doing. But we should probably start at the beginning with who are you, what's your background, and then tell me a little bit about Drop.
Okay. Personally, my background is in sort of building communication systems. And over the past few years, we've been building sort of this decentralized IoT network based on LoRaWAN protocol. And so we now have over 1,000 wireless nodes out there across the country and over 10 countries. So we have experience of kind of running this network of IoT devices, especially operated by individuals. So there are some challenges associated with it. So that's where we are.
Right on. And so it's a LoRaWAN thing. How is it different or similar to Helium, which is what a lot of people watching this will have the most knowledge of?
Yeah. So that's interesting. You brought that up. Historically, I think we kind of started our project a similar time frame, and Helium really picked it up. And it's a very similar business model. But over the years, we have evolved into really focusing on use cases and then how to utilize the network that we are building. So that's kind of kind of direction that we are heading.
Got it. What are some of the use cases that you're seeing for these different nodes that are out there? If they're the same thing, LoRaWAN network, so they're covering, a couple hundred kilometers, square kilometers each, so a pretty big space usually. What are some of the use cases you're seeing for Drop Wireless?
We are sort of focusing on unique use cases. Foremost, I can talk about we are setting up a network for remote medical care in underserved countries like India, and there's a potential to extend it to Africa. So there are places that they have no network. So it's basically clear before and after difference. So benefits that we bring. And then also leveraging the network that we have, because our sort of the hardware is capable of handling processing, compute, and as well as storage. We are extending it to other use cases like share advertising and so on.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. I'd forgotten about that part. So you get a little unit in, you put it up in your store, your shop, or your home, or wherever it is, and it also specifically for business owners, if I remember rightly, there's some additional benefits beyond just having a LoRaWAN node. Can you walk me through what that is?
Right.
What those are?
So kind of step back, and when we first set out to build our own wireless node, and we were kind of future proofing. So let's have enough computing power, storage, and then different protocols in there, and then kind of paves our way for different use cases. And so the idea here is that our wireless node can basically become a media player with compute and storage capability. And then they're all managed by the cloud, back in the back end. And so it's interesting. It's completely peer-to-peer, fully automated, blockchain verified, and we got our apps on both App Store and Play Store. And you can actually download today. It's called Drop Wireless Media app. And then on the app, you'll be able to schedule your own showing. And then you can upload your personal videos and photos. And if you have your own videos for your business, you can upload that too. And then you can basically select how long you want to run it, and then you can pay both in cash and also crypto payment. So there's in-app purchase for Apple and then Google Pay for Android. And then what's really cool about it is there's no intermediary. It's all blockchain automated. And then once the video played, the payment goes straight to the owner and then the location provider and so on. And then as we evolve this, you can kind of think that we can add a more elaborate logic into how this system works. So I think we are really kind of trying to bring out the sort of the essence and then the core benefits of having sort of blockchain, bring it all together in a system like this.
Love it. Oh man, there's so much to unpack there. I like it. Let's do a quick break and we'll talk about today's show sponsor, Eclipse Labs. One of the cool parts about doing this show is that we get to talk to a ton of projects across the space, including a lot of back-end nerdy stuff like that helps deepen projects. One of those is today's show sponsor, Eclipse Labs. They're a customizable rollup provider, deploying app-specific chains for several deepen projects. They allow you to pick your virtual machine, your base layer, and additional customizations to enable new functionality for your DApp. Eclipse is committed to helping projects build on DePIN. Check them out at eclipse.builders and click the card above for a link to an interview we did with them if you haven't seen it yet. Now, Andrew, one of the things that, Eclipse does all this really cool back-end stuff is that you guys are also adding a ton with what you just talked about to the standard LoRaWAN node. This is not a, regular Helium hotspot that's just putting out a coverage. You've also got this screen kind of display aspect to it so that someone walks in the store, if they walk into my cookie store or they walk into the automotive shop, they might get an ad displayed specifically for customers who walk in there. Can you talk me through more how business owners are looking at this thing as an investment and how they might see it being able to help themselves and their customers?
And this really cuts out all the middleman, and he goes straight from his own content to his display. And then he can also capitalize on this display asset by helping other local businesses run their ads on his display. So it kind of both helps his business and also opportunity to bring in some also incomes to his business.
That's pretty cool. And are you seeing this? I mean, I can see something like we've all, maybe not all, but most of us have gone to like a tire shop and you're waiting for your, trucks or your car's tires to be switched out.
Yeah.
We see a display in there and it shows an ad for whatever, a burger, a cool drink or whatever on a hot day, all that stuff. Are you seeing those business owners also going over to whatever the local restaurant is and saying, hey, you guys should have one of these too, and refer customers to us? Are you seeing there's going to be that kind of back and forth between businesses helping each other?
I think in the initial phase, there is a lot of this sort of legwork and door-to-door kind of marketing. But as we have gained sufficient momentum, we'll be working with the brands as opposed to working, so not to say that working with the small business is still a very important part of our what we are doing. And then they'll start to come to us, and then so I think it'll be an evolution. But I think that's kind of the path that we are looking at.
I like it. It's nice, like steady evolution, making sure you're making really careful, considered moves into this. Okay. So people are excited about it. They go to, what is it, dropwireless.io. Do you guys have these units for sale? Are you shipping them? What's going on with that?
Yeah, currently we have these units available, and soon we'll be running sort of the challenge. So we'll be looking for volunteers. We'll offer our machines maybe 10 locations or so, and then we'll be taking some applications. I think all in all, I think where we come into this DePIN space is, I think with our sort of technical background and the development experience, it's not just focusing on our own network. I think we are talking to other projects and help them to, they have already built out to a certain extent. Help them to really make use of it and kind of present the benefit of their networks to the general public. Because I think overall the DePIN sector is, for a long haul. I mean, if you think about it, how whole telecommunication, how far it has come, in the beginning, you may remember, back in the days, you had this like really clunky Motorola phone,
Yeah.
several $1,000s. And then, but that was really, killer application that really paid for building the network. And then there was a whole generation, second, third, fourth, now, 5G and so on. So, and I think DePIN sector will go through similar iterations. I think we'll get there. And we're starting with sort of ad hoc network and start to really fill in the gaps. So over time, we'll get there. But along the way, we need to kind of have this sort of compelling use cases to bring the general public into it as well. So that's, I think, where we come in.
Cool. I love it. And then what chain are you guys running on or planning to run on if you're not there already?
We have launched our blockchain on IoTeX as of the beginning of this year. And I have to say, IoTeX team has been a great partner for us.
Yeah. Super helpful. Those guys are really active. They want to see everybody in their ecosystem succeed. So I think that's a good move for you. Okay. Very cool. Andrew, thanks a ton for coming on. Really appreciate you making the time to tell people a little bit about Drop Wireless. I'll make sure there are links down in the show notes. And if you're watching this, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button so that you catch this show and other shows like it in the future. Andrew, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Nick. Okay. Thank you very much.